Ocho, Joe, the Browns will evaluate Dillon Gabriel's hamstring Saturday morning, but they are optimistic the rookie will start the preseason game against the Eagles, per Jeremy Fowler. Gabriel strained his hamstring on August 2nd and didn't return to full participation in practice until this week. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders will not play this week. Shedeur was hurt in Wednesday joint practice and could return to practice next week and play in the preseason finale. What are we expecting, Ocho? What do we expect from Dillon Gabriel?
I'm expecting Dillon Gabriel to play. I ain't trying to hit nothing about no hamstrings and all that. You ain't that fast. You're not that explosive anyway. I need you to get out there and compete. I want to see what you look like without the green and gold on. I want to see what you look like in that brown when the lights is on, when that pressure's on. You know, especially after what Shedeur was able to do. You were the third round pick. I need you to go out there and show me why you were the third round pick. That's it.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Look.
Hey, I wish him nothing but the best, but I want to see it.
Play this weekend. He's nursing an oblique injury that will likely keep him out of the Browns' second preseason game tomorrow against the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Shedeur had a promising debut last weekend, so this feels a little bit like a setback, but our Chris Canty thinks it could be a blessing in disguise. CC? D. Wood, do you agree with Canty?
No, I do not. Like, missing time as a fourth-string, fifth-round draft pick is never a good thing. And like, I understand where Chris Canty is coming from this standpoint. Like, it's easier to go from Joe Flacco to Shedeur than start out with Shedeur, and then he struggles, then you move on because you risk losing the young man as far as confidence concerned. But at the end of the day, he's still the fourth-string quarterback on the depth chart for the Cleveland Browns. And so any day that you miss is an opportunity for someone else to capitalize on that. Dillon Gabriel is coming back from injury. What if Dillon Gabriel goes out there and plays well? Dillon Gabriel was the third-round pick. He got picked 2 rounds higher than Shedeur Sanders. And so when you're missing time in the preseason and you're already splitting up snaps with 3 other quarterbacks, that is not a good thing.
Totally agree. Like, we were just looking at that footage, Graz, and Shedeur Sanders played really well last week. Hard stop. He played some of these throws he made, these 2 touchdown passes, those are layered NFL throws. He led the nation in completion percentage, and he's showing a reason why. This injury is awful because it's interrupting the momentum. You guys know we are in the ultimate meritocracy. He earned more reps this week. He probably would have played more, and it's really too bad. I totally disagree with Chris Canty relative to how it could have played out. I'm not saying he would have started opening day, but obviously he's going to be on the team. But just in terms of where he is on the depth chart, this injury is a setback.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Canty had almost as good a chance to start week 1 as Shedeur for the Browns based on the way things have gone. But, I mean, when he gets hurt at this time of camp, what does that mean for him?
Well, I mean, we keep saying he's a 5th-round pick, which is right, but, like, we have to understand that he's a different type of 5th-round pick. He is a 5th-round pick who's going to get a chance to start at some point this season. I think we all will be shocked. And I understand your 5th-round pick, you want to keep going out there and keep getting better and keep moving up the depth chart. I'm sure he would love that. But I do agree with you guys. The idea that him not wanting to start at any point, I get where the big dog Chris Canty is coming from, but I don't agree with it. I think you want to get out there as soon as possible, play as well as you can as soon as possible, because I think for the Browns, their expectation right now is probably to use one of their 2 first-round picks or package those 2 next year to move up in the draft. You have to start changing their mind. I don't think that they are committed to any quarterback that's in that building right now. So the sooner you can get out there to change their mind, the better off you'll be.
To that point, and to D. Wood's question, what if Dillon Gabriel has a big game this weekend? I mean, does he start to become a consideration for them?
Yeah, possibly. And look, Dillon Gabriel is a really good college player, but when you look at it from a height and athletic standpoint, it's really bucking the odds. And look, he could play great, and hopefully he does for him. But realistically, Shedeur Sanders has dramatically more ability. He's built for the NFL. And look, Dillon Gabriel could be a developmental guy, and we'll see how he does, this weekend. But like, to me, going to Nick's point, the likelihood of a quarterback evolving from this year's draft would be Shedeur Sanders.
It feels like, based on the way this has gone with the injuries and everything in camp, that Joe Flacco is likely to open the season as the starter. It's a tough open to the season. I mean, they opened with the Bengals, they got the Ravens, they got the Packers. Like, it's a tough one. But at some point, you expect we'll see all these guys as they kind of work their way through the depth chart to figure out what it is that they actually have?
Yeah, no, listen, I think Nick touched upon it. Like, at some point, you're going to play one of these young guys, particularly, I think, a guy like Shedeur Sanders, because you have 2 first-round picks in 2026. Yeah. Like, you need to see if one of these 2 guys could be the guy, because I think those 2 first-round picks become even more valuable if you have the quarterback in the building.
Yeah, and to D Wood's point, if I'm Andrew Berry, the GM of the Browns, I'm telling that to Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Like, here's the answers to the test. Make us convinced that we can take those 2 ones, package them.
Shedeur Sanders is a 5th-round pick. He's trying to win a job, and in the NFL, a part of your job description is availability. So anything that can interrupt the progress that he's made in training camp is something that you should be concerned with. But I look at this a little bit differently. This could be a blessing in disguise for Shedeur Sanders, and here's what I mean by that. The ultimate objective is to sell the Cleveland Browns that you are their future at the quarterback position, especially considering that the Browns have 2 first-round draft picks in 2026. Maybe, just maybe, it might be in Shedeur's best interest with this potential injury, the fact that you're not going to see him out there against the Philadelphia Eagles on Saturday night. It tampers down unrealistic expectations that some people, and I say some, not all, have been putting on Shedeur while he's been considered or being in the mix for the QB1 job. When you look at the Cleveland Browns, starting the season as QB1 as a rookie might not be ideal. When you think about it, they're at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Then they got a string of 5 straight playoff teams: Baltimore Ravens, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a soft place to land if you're Shedeur Sanders. So what I'll say is this: although it's never ideal to be dealing with an injury, the fact that the severity of the injury is not going to be expected to keep him out long term, and the fact that this does give everybody a chance to chill out with the expectations, I think it could be a good thing for Shedeur in the long run.
I'm looking forward to Cameron Ward down in Tennessee. I think we've seen a couple quarterbacks in the last season step in and make their teams great. We're talking about C.J. Stroud and obviously what Jayden Daniels did last year. I know it's asking a lot for it to happen 3 years in a row, but I think Cam Ward has the talent to be able to turn this team around.
First pick of the draft on display this weekend. What are you fired up to watch, Mike T?
Jackson Dart versus the Jets stand right across the river here at MetLife. He played great against Buffalo. Looking at this from last week, 2 touchdowns, 159 yards. Remember, he was a great athlete, 12 rushing touchdowns at Ole Miss. Go win the job, Jackson. Russell Wilson had a great career. He's on the back 9. Go get the job, play well against the Jets.
Mike T's retiring Russell Wilson. D. Wood, what are you fired up to watch this weekend?
I'm looking forward to Caleb Williams versus the Buffalo Bills. New head coach Ben Johnson. He chose this job in Chicago primarily because of that young man we're seeing right there, Caleb Williams. How comfortable will he look inside this new offense with all the toys that he has at his disposal?
All right, let's start there because this is obviously a big story, right? With Ben Johnson coming in as the new head coach, mission to get Caleb Williams, the #1 pick in last year's draft, on track. I sometimes think putting these games on TV can be a disservice, right? Because they're